Project 613, day 167. So today we continue the mitzvahs associated with the offerings in the Holy Temple, specifically the additional offerings, the additional community offerings that were offered on special days. So yesterday we learned about Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh. Today we learned that on Passover there is an additional offering, there's an additional set of sacrifices that are brought every single day of Passover. On Shavuot, there's also an additional Musaf offering for Shavuot, which actually differs from the Musaf offering of Passover and any others. On Rosh Hashanah, we have a Musaf offering. Yom Kippur, we have a Musaf offering. Sukkot, we also have a Musaf offering. What is interesting about the holiday of Sukkot is that Sukkot, the biblical holiday of Sukkot, is 7 days. And each one of those days, the Musaf offering is a bit different. It starts off with 13 bulls, the next day it's 12, and the next day is 11 bulls, and then 10. In total, the amount of bulls that are offered during the holiday of Sukkot are 70, which corresponds to the 70 nations, the 70 Gentile nations. So in fact, on the holiday of Sukkot, we're not just praying on our own behalf, but we're praying on behalf of all of humanity. And then Shmini Atzeret, which is the 8th day, right away following Sukkot, there is also an additional offering, an additional Musaf offering. Going back to the holiday of Passover, on the 2nd day of Passover, in addition to the Musaf offering that is offered in honor of the holiday, there is another important and very special offering that is offered that day, and that is called the Omer offering. The representatives from the temple would go out to the field and harvest a certain amount of barley, and this was the first grain offering, the first meal offering brought in the Holy Temple from the new harvest, from the grain that was planted this year. Until they bring this offering in the Holy Temple, one is not allowed to partake, one is not allowed to eat from the grains that were planted that year. So that's called the first harvest offering, that's the Omer offering. And then 50 days later, after counting the Omer, which we're going to learn about tomorrow, 50 days later, they would bring another offering, which was from wheat. They would bake it into challah, which was chametz, which was leaven, and they would wave it in the Holy Temple. They would not offer it on the altar because chametz, leaven, is not allowed on the altar. But this was the first meal offering offered in the temple that came from wheat. 50 days earlier, it was barley, and 50 days later on Shavuot, they would bring a new offering from the new grain, which was wheat. This was called Shtei HaLechem, the two breads. So this was brought on the holiday of Shavuot. Thank you all for watching. More tomorrow.